Hello candidates, I am going to dictate you a passage of 900 words. So please get ready for the dictation. The dictation will start after 15 seconds. It says any person who delivers any certified film to any distributor or exhibitor shall in such manner as may be prescribed notify to the distributor or exhibitor as the case may be the title, the length of the film, the number and the nature of the certificate granted in respect thereof and the conditions, if any, subject to which it has been so granted, and any other particulars respecting the film which may be prescribed. Now, according to the legal advice that we have had, this will make it obligatory on them, and no exhibitor or distributor can hereafter say that he is ignorant as to whether a film is the one which has been certified by the board or whether there have been any additions that took place on the floor of the House of the People. I mean, what was then the parliament of both houses combined when this act was passed? A proviso was added which was well intentioned, which really wanted to help the distributors and producers. The proviso was that in any case where the government wants to uncertify a film or ban it, due notice of 15 days will be given to the producer. Now, the proviso, though well intentioned, has proved to be the main stumbling block in the way of trying to stop the exhibition of any film which is objectionable. Recently, a few months back, a very typical case came before us. As honorable members are aware, there was a film called Peking Express which was going to be exhibited here, and at that time we had protests from the government of China and its representa- representatives here that the film was highly derogatory to the people and culture of China, who were shown in a very unfavorable light, and that it was a libel on them. Therefore, the government of India took steps to see the film. We had the film examined by competent persons, and we also came to the conclusion that the film was really derogatory on the people of China. Of course, we came to know that the film which was produced many years ago and which had been probably laying somewhere was being exhibited because the person who held got the film here was thinking that he might make some money at that moment. I may say, sir, the film was censored by the old board of film censors. I mean the board existing before this act into force and also before India became independent. At that particular moment, the international situation was quite different, and probably then the censors might not have taken the same notice of the question as we have since taken. Instead of suspending a film indefinitely, we can uncertify it. We use that power only in cases where there are certain objectionable things in a film, the showing of which in public might bring certain complications. The dog was much surprised. What come over you, master? He asked. What has frightened you so? Can't you see? There is a bear out there and he might eat up both of us, you and me. Seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, the dog decided to take up service with him and he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. The bear agreed to this readily and said, let us go and find a herd of cows. I will kill a cow and then we can both eat our fill. They walked on and soon saw a herd of cows, but just as they were about to come up to it, they were stopped by a terrible noise. The cows were mooing loudly and running in a panic in all directions. The bear looked out from behind a tree and then he too ran hastily deeper into the forest. Now, why did I have to come here? Said he to the dog. It is the lion who rules the forest in these parts. The lion, who is he? Don't you know? He is the strongest beast on earth. Well, then I will say goodbye to you, bear. I want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth. As he left for Japan on Friday to attend the G7 summit, India is a special invitee. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called India's attendance particularly meaningful this year. While Mr. Modi was referring specifically to India's G20 presidency and aligning the G20 agenda with Japan's agenda for the G7 summit is key. There are other reasons for India's presence to stand out at the conversations this weekend. Japan, as host, has taken a fairly tough position on Russia, with its envoy to India saying that the message to Putin must be that Russia will have to pay for its war in Ukraine. While all G7 countries, the US, the UK, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the EU are united in their efforts to sanction Russia further, it will be left to India, which has walked a line of fine balance thus far, to temper some of that language, particularly if joint communiques are sought with the outreach countries including South Korea, Australia, Brazil, Vietnam, Indonesia, Comoros, and the Cook Islands. Neither Russia nor China, the elephants in the room, are actually invited, and India's position will be all the more important for the voice of the global south that Mr. Modi has committed to amplify in conversations about the impacts of sanctions imposed by the G7 countries on the developing world, including on food, fertilizer, and energy security.